best thing that you can do in our coaching sessions is just is for us to try to stay somewhat clear around what we're trying to build together. Okay. And the main goal for us, and I'm going to say this, and you're going to kind of clarify with me, is the main goal I've heard from you is, David, I want to be able to, I want to get better at getting shit done. That matters to me and my goals.
Yeah.
Does that sound true?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to put, I like this. I put this acronym because it's just easier to say, right? To my goal. So, and then, so the other piece of this is the why. And maybe I said that a little bit, but to you, what does it mean to you when we think about that specific goal? What is a good why for you? Like, why is this important to you now?
I guess two things. Like, one, like, it makes my life easier. And two, because I'll be able to, like, be like my own person and be independent.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. And cool. Anything else to add? I mean, there probably can be a lot of items we can put in here, right? Because this is this a good place to move to? What else comes to mind?
I don't really know.
Yeah, well, I think the second one is a kind of an extension. This other one is an extension of that. So this is important because we're thinking of why, and now we're going to move into like my future self. Like, this is kind of what you're like, David, future authoring. This is the example of future authoring. So what will success look or feel like if I achieve this? Like, when I think about my future self looking back, like what will be some examples of like, yes, this is what the success feels like?
I think like confidence in myself, sort of, and my ability to handle things. And I guess then like being able to take on more, like do more things that I want to do because I can handle all the stuff that is necessary. And yeah, I guess the confidence is a big one, like not second guessing my ability to do things or not signing up for things because I don't think I can handle it and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Well said. Yeah, and that's so I loved it that you started off by framing like, okay, the positive, and it's not wrong. Like, sometimes we look back and like we can frame things, and obviously the negative as well, and that is, I won't be second guessing myself. Like that would be like looking at the negative, looking at a negative aspect of it, but like you're saying, confidence comes from being able to get things done and move my life forward and overcome, and no longer feeling like I have to second guess myself because I'm getting better at that. The other side of that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So I said, this last question here is really about is how this goes going to support the bigger picture, and this is really stretching a little further into like my future self, like, and maybe you've answered it already, but is there an additional piece to like even the bigger picture for me that would be helpful to elaborate?
Yeah, I guess like the bigger picture, I'd be able to like handle going abroad and handle like maybe starting like being an artist and like the business side of that, and like being able to, I mean, the business side of that, and then also like being able to um like healthfully like schedule myself and like keep myself on track.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And that's awesome. So again, a little bit of that future authoring piece as I look into the future and I look short term, I start to feel like the the daily things of getting stuff done, I'm getting better at. And then I stretch that even further into my future, Nora, and I start to think about what this means in terms of confidence, and maybe I'm getting shorter term goals. I'm managing short-term goals, and what does that look like when I stretch even further to some broader pictures around going abroad and growing a business as an artist, and being able to keep track of myself and those long-term goals and the steps to get there. Like, that's so cool to hear. So this process really is anchoring. What it does is it allows us to leave the past, Nora, right? Even leave the present and
Mm-hmm.
really stretch ourselves out into this notion of here's where I see myself being.
Yeah.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
And then so by doing that, I say, okay, that's kind of like the end in mind. Okay, cool. Now this is now switch back to kind of reality being like now. Okay. So this again, this I'm taking us slowly through this, but if we do this again, it will be a kind of a quicker review, which is
Mm-hmm.
okay, which is great because that means we're getting better at kind of analyzing where we're going, checking in on where things are today, and then what to do about that. Okay, so what's happening now that might be getting in the way, and just this again, maybe a summary from what we've talked about, but from your perspective today, what's a good answer?
Um, I think there's like, I think a bit of it's like anxiety, and also I think like I have a hard time starting things um and like getting things,
Is
I don't
it
know, like
to say that, can I reframe it just to frame that in a way that makes sense, or connect the dots? Um,
mhm.
you mentioned anxiety. What's the link there for you between the statement of anxiety and maybe the getting the stuff done or whatever it was?
um like I'm like anxious that I won't be able to do it, or that it'll be like too much for me, so I don't start.
Okay. Okay. Um, and so there's this anxiety about the amount of tasks um, or what? So it's a more of a, so that's helpful for me to hear. So the anxiety might be triggered when I what? Think about what?
Like like opening my email or looking at my like notebook, like yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
any anything that kind of like makes it like the tasks like real and present.
Okay. Okay. Cool. That's cool. Okay. Oh no, I'm running out of space here. I did not know that. Oh no, I gotta shrink. I gotta make this smaller. Okay, cool. Um, I like that real and present piece. Okay, cool. This is a really important for me to hear. I really appreciate you articulating that. Is the so for example, there's certain tasks that can be big that require multiple baby steps,
Mm-hmm.
right? We've done brain dumps on this, and then there's other tasks that may not require multiple baby steps or have where you have to break it down into manageable parts, but still might be triggering. For
Mm-hmm.
example, opening email, right? Opening an email doesn't require a lot of you don't break that task down,
Yeah.
but what that leads to might be triggering or might cause its own anxiety. Are those two good examples, or is there a better way to say that?
No, those are good examples.
Okay, cool. All right. All right. So when we think about what might be getting in the way, this is a deeper analysis into, okay, well, what have I tried? And this is, again, a reflective, maybe what we've talked about in the past, but I just want to make note of it. What have you tried? And maybe of that, what have you tried? And yes, it's worked, or maybe I've tried and it hasn't worked.
What have I tried? I feel like
I'm going to say something you said this at the first part of what you're going to be able to do. Is you mentioned this. Ever heard of this term?
yes.
It's what you did on Sunday.
Yeah, it's when you um like the task is hard for you, so you have someone else who's like doing something similar or doing the task, like you sit with them or are with them, so it makes it easier for you to do it.
Yeah, it can be a very, very effect. So the answer to this question is a lot about strategies. Like, what are strategies I've tried? It doesn't have to be big. What I'm teaching you is just another strategy, right?
Mhm.
And it starts with it starts with brain dumping, but it's really about using kind of a notebook like process.
Mhm.
That's a you. I can say you've already tried it because you are. Like yesterday, you tried it. Sunday I was trying it.
Yeah.
So like I've gotten into it. I'm not really a master of it, but what are some other things that come to mind in terms of strategies you've tried and that
Um, I mean, I guess like I don't know if this counts, but being like, okay, if I work for blank minutes straight, I can go do something else for like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like incentives, right?
Mhm.
To get started. There's so many, right? It's like, what can I? Some people, and so is that something you say to yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I would say that this is, and you say it to yourself in your own head, or do you say it out loud?
in my head.
Okay, cool. Self-talk is a really powerful strategy, Nora. It's a little awkward to talk to yourself out loud in public,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Right. But self-talk is a really powerful strategy because it can help interrupt anxiety thought processes.
Mhm.
And do you know you can't say something that you're not thinking?
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, that's deep. So if I'm
Yeah.
saying what my intentions are, there's a strong a high probability that I'm going to be more successful at initiating it.
Mhm.
For example, just like you said, let me just start this and then I'll go do something fun.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right. And just saying that out loud is really, really, really a powerful strategy. People don't underestimate. It's like, yeah, but it's so simple. I know sometimes the simplest strategies are the best ones.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. What else comes to mind? So I'm going to put internal.
Yeah.
Just because, like, yeah, I'll say to myself, but I may think it. And I'll say, okay, cool. Just imagine if you were like, okay, I'm going to go from thinking to saying. Okay, cool. Maybe we'll try it. We'll try to try it. Maybe, maybe you're willing to talk to yourself by yourself.
I am. I'll do it. I'm trying to think what other strat. I know there are some, but I just can't like think of anything.
That's
Really.
okay. That's okay. I'm going to build on this because there's a cool other kind of process that allows you to we're going to get so good at building a tool belt of strategies.
Mhm.
Okay. And they're going to be strategies that you're going to decide on, like self-talk. Like we're going to say, okay, that's a cool strategy. The notebook kind of process, that's a strategy. And we're going to have these strategies that relate to problems that are getting in our way, like things that are making, and it's all about, okay. So anyway, I'm getting ahead of ourselves. All right, we're going to kind of go past the next two questions. Because I want to, so is this helpful just to kind of reframe things? Is this a kind of a helpful initial process to go through?
Mhm. Yeah,
Just
for
thinking.
sure.
Okay, cool. So we're going to get into kind of a brainstorming, but I'm not going to use this right here for now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into your notebook. Do you have that out?
Yeah.
Super. Okay. Now, like I said in the beginning, Nora, using this strategy in front of you is not a game of judgment. It's just a game of practice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're not in a place to judge yet or criticize.
Yeah.
You can't criticize yet. You just got to practice if you believe it's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what I mean is I don't want you to ever look back and say, I feel bad because I didn't get done A, B, and C and X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know why I'm saying this?
Like, not really.
Because we want to build momentum on success.
Yeah.
And when we have
yeah.
when we have these thoughts around, oh, I'm using this strategy, but it's reminding me of what I suck at. No, that's not helpful to us, right? It's like if you were to run a marathon tomorrow, that would be, if you've never trained, how are you going to feel?
Awful.
So awful.
Mhm.
But let's say, okay, you're going to run a marathon in 6 months, and we're going to start building the skills over the next, right? This is the journey we're on right now. Okay.
Yeah.
But I can't train for a marathon, and every time I come home from running 2 miles, I feel bad that I didn't run 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to go back out, right? I just got to be proud of myself for what I'm doing to move myself forward.
Yeah.
Hard to do, but that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of an important mindset that we're just going to continue to nurture and cultivate, if that's okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Brain dump. Have you done this yet, or is this a good time to do one?
This is a good time to do one, I
Okay,
think.
cool. All right, then I will shut up.
I just need to grab a pen.
Oh, if you're standing and getting something, I'm going to ask you to do
Yes.
something else. Can you get three, either 3 colored pens or 3 colored highlighters or 3 colored pencils, whatever, just 3 different colors that you can write with. I wouldn't say don't get yellow because it's hard to see. Don't get definitely don't get white.
Okay. I'm gonna have to run downstairs then really quick because
That's okay.
there's
That's
only
okay. You're in your dad's
Okay.
office, not your bedroom. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to introduce um, a way of doing your brain dump that allows you, what I want to help you do, Nora, is I want to help you um, evaluate your tasks, meaning whatever you write down. I'm going to call a task. It's probably a better word for it. But when you do a brain dump, you're just putting shit on the paper, right? That's all you're doing. Okay, just getting everything out of your head. No rules. There's no expectation. There's no format. It's just me thinking, getting that stuff out of my head, right?
Mhm.
What I want you to do after that is I gave you 3 colors because what I want you to think about is what tasks are easiest for me to do. Let's think we're going to analyze your anxiety for a second related to these tasks. Okay. There's bucket 1, which is like, okay, I can get that stuff done. It's not really anxiety triggering at all. Okay. That's one color.
Mhm.
Next color is that stuff's kind of in between. Right. And then there's the third color, which is that stuff is definitely, I'm excellent at procrastinating on that. Like I'm so good at avoiding that because it is like instantly triggering and I just freeze and I don't want to touch it. Okay. And I want you to start thinking of through these types of tasks in a way that allows you to organize those 3 buckets.
Mhm.
How does that sound?
Good.
Have you ever done that before?
No.
Cool. And again, there's one way to just do this is just do your brain dump, no rules,
Mhm.
and just use a non-relevant color,
Mhm.
and then go through that list and use those 3 different colors. Again, highlighters can work as well, and organize the information based on those 3 categories. How do you want to handle that?
Um, that sounds good. Yeah, just brain dump and then go through the 3 categories.
Okay, cool. All right. So again, I'm going to stop talking and give you a chance to do that.
This is really embarrassing, but
What?
I've forgotten the first 2 categories.
That's okay. That's not embarrassing. So 3 categories related to types of anxiety: low, medium, and high.
Right.
Okay. Low meaning super low anxiety. Medium meaning high meaning definitely.
Okay, I feel like there should be more, but I'm done for now, I guess. Well, I still have to put them into low, medium, and high.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. That was pretty quick compared to last time.
Yeah, I mean,
Sweet.
there's only like a couple things on it.
It's even
So,
smaller.
yeah.
Now, are you finding yourself going to the other pages?
Um, Not really. I mean, my one on Sunday was pretty short. So I didn't really have any like pickup from that.
Yeah.
Um, and then the ones like before everything is kind of like I guess before I did like everything. Like I have to shower, I have to get dressed, I have to do this, and I didn't really do any of that stuff here. Like like I have to make my own lunch, but I didn't like put down like I do always like make my own lunch, but um I didn't put stuff like that down. It was more like all the like administrative stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. Again, there's no rules. So
Hmm.
sometimes you feel like I got to put everything down because whatever, there's a lot on my mind. And sometimes it's like,
Yeah.
no, I feel like I got that.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So what you end up finding, and again, as as you work this process, some people never put down the first bucket
Mm-hmm.
unless there's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, okay, making my lunch, that's not a big deal. But if this morning in the next hour I have to get 16 little things done,
Mm-hmm.
it's low stress. It's just I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
So there's
Mm-hmm.
different. So okay, so the reason I asked if you looked back is forgetfulness and working memory go hand in hand. So working memory is our brain's ability to, what do you know about working memory?
Nothing. I don't think I've heard that
Okay, cool.
term.
Sorry. Sometimes I start talking and I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I'm talking to
Mm-hmm.
someone actually, took that course in psychology and knows everything. So working memory is a part of is a cognitive process. And what it means is how working memory is our ability to manage information in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So think of this is a good example. So in high school, you went to class at like 8 a.m. all the way to 2:30 or something, right?
Yeah.
During that day, you're using working memory to track and manage everything through the
Mm-hmm.
day, right? Information will go from working memory to short-term memory to long-term memory.
Yeah.
But sometimes stress starts creeping up.
Mm-hmm.
And as stress goes up, working memory goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a natural tendency. Why? Well, because if stress is causing me to get into fight or flight, like I'm overwhelmed, I'm stuck. What ends up happening is I don't really need the working memory quite as much. I just need to survive by reacting to my environment.
Yeah.
Fight, flight. So it makes sense. Like from a survival standpoint, like I don't need all that cognitive I got to be working on whether or not I'm going to live through this moment because there's an alligator or whatever, a tiger behind me, or I'm walking down a dark alley. But the stress of life can get to a certain level, which can make it really hard to remember, recall, keep track of information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What you're doing in this process is you're actually you're helping to support your working memory.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go back pages, I think I went the wrong way. When you go back pages, it's a way for you to review what was on your mind on prior days that you
Mm-hmm.
may have forgotten, but
Yeah.
is still important.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I asked. So as you get better at this process too, you're like, oh crap, look at that. I put something down 3 days ago and I totally forgot that I have to get that done. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness. It's like game changing. All of a sudden, like our goals, our confidence climbs because our tendency to forget is now not as big of an issue because we have a strategy that we're anchoring
Mm-hmm.
ourselves to. Does that sound cool?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to shut up again and see how you do with your color coding.
Okay.
Okay. I just want you to review how you feel when you look at this process.
I feel good. Yeah.
How
I
so?
like um well, I did like boxes.
No way. You did boxes?
Yeah.
Hey,
I like
remember I told you there's two kinds of people in this world. No, you seem to be changing.
well, I boxed the my things on the like I put boxes around the whole like questions. That's
Few.
how
Okay,
I
okay, good.
color
Oh, few.
coded. I'm not changing. I'm staying right where I am. But so I kind of like that actually. Um, as a way to like yeah, like look at the like I can clearly see like, okay, this. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's like now I know that I don't know how to describe it. My brain likes it.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. So your energy and from a kind of a engagement standpoint. The more you interact with this process, the stronger it gets.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so that's cool to hear you describe that. Can you do me a favor? Can you take a picture of that and text it to
Yeah.
me? Okay, because that qualifies as badass. Okay. Now,
Ooh.
um, now, what do you do with this information now that you've done the brain dump and you have evaluated the information? What do you do with it? What's next?
Um, I think sort of like map out when I'm gonna do this stuff today.
Okay. Okay. What's another word for map out?
Schedule.
Ah, cool. All right. Yeah. There's different words. I thought of plan, but schedule
Oh yeah.
works too. All good. So yes, what it's missing now is time and space. What
Mhm.
time, when and where.
Yeah.
That's okay. Step one is just get that stuff out of my head. Now that it's out
Mhm.
of my head, I can set myself up for success.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So, okay. So that's the next thing. Somebody would have said, if in your shoes, someone else would have answered that question by saying, the different ways to answer my question, by the way. So there's no wrong way. It's just, okay, yeah, planning it out, scheduling it would make sense. Some would say prioritizing it is another way of looking at that, right? So maybe it's prioritize. Maybe it's, okay, do I need to number what I'm going to tackle first, second, and third?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, I'm just thinking through next decisions with you because there's different ways of walking through this, right? But for you, anxiety is a big deal, right? And
Yeah.
so you're not afraid of facing it, or else you wouldn't be
Mhm.
on this call with me,
Yeah.
period. I just want you to know that. Okay. You're not afraid of facing it. It's just I need to build strategies to be able to tackle the anxiety, the topics, the items on that list. What color is the bucket 3? Is the high category.
Um, hot pink.
Okay, so I might need better and better strategies for those hot pink items.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's okay. But now that I know, I'm going to be more empowered to use whatever strategy is going to work for me because I'm not
Mhm.
going to let those tasks um, get in the way of my goals.
Yeah.
Just a mindset
Mhm.
perspective, right? But because you wrote it down, do you know that because you wrote it down, you're taking yourself seriously?
Mhm.
That's cool. You just think about that. It's like, okay, now I got to figure that out when I'm going to do it and where, and maybe the strategy that's going to work for me. Okay. So can you do me a favor? Can you just number for yourself? What is my order here as I think about my planning process? What's going to come second, third, fourth, maybe these at the same time? Just think through that. And there's no wrong answer.
Well, I think I don't really know what's gonna come. Which, like, I guess like some of these, I know exactly like where I'm gonna put them, but I don't know if I'm gonna have like I have a lot of time in my day, but I have a couple of like things that are like a couple of these are like set in stone, I guess. So I don't really know how to prioritize or how to be like, I'm gonna do this before then because I'm not sure like if it'll fit or how much time. Like a lot of these things I just don't know like if it's gonna like kind of how much time it's gonna take and not just in like a oh I don't know, but in like I don't really know if I'm gonna start doing it and then I'm gonna discover like more. Like I have to find another class to like one of my online classes for the summer got canceled.
Hmm.
So I have to like find another class and sign up for that. But I just like I don't know how much time that's gonna take because I don't know if I'll just like find class or if it's gonna like take me a long time.
Yeah.
But so I
Yeah.
don't really know how to prioritize that.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Well said. Um, Sometimes there's tasks that require more information,
Hmm.
right? Like I just can't, this is too ambiguous. Like it's not as simple as emptying the dishwasher. It's not as simple as
Yeah.
send an email. The more adulting type topics, sometimes you just need time to figure something out first before you can move on to other things.
Yeah.
Is that kind of
Mhm.
where it sits?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So from a priority, from the bucket list, from those three buckets,
Hmm.
um, is there some topic that is really it's a maybe it's a bucket three, and I definitely want to get that off my list.
Um, yeah. It's I have to like go to the library to check, like to be hey, like, like I put my volunteer thing in almost like a day less than a week ago. So
Yeah.
check and be like, what's going on? Sort of like, I mean,
Cool.
not what's going on, like nicer than that, but yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. And the class stuff, what bucket was that?
That was bucket two because I mean, it's gonna be hard and like it's important, but it's not high anxiety or
Sure.
um but like it's bucket two because it's important, but it's like the anxiety comes from its importance, I guess.
Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah, your self-awareness is high. Of the items on your, are these everything you wrote down on your list, are those just for today, or are there things that can be moved to tomorrow as well?
They can be moved to tomorrow as well, yeah.
Okay. Um, so okay, so what's the best way to handle the planning, or you said mapping out these tasks? What are your thoughts? Given you kind of the limitations you've mentioned, sometimes those limitations can make us not, might make it hard to figure it out. But what are your thoughts?
Mhm. Um, I think kind of just looking at it and like the low, medium, high, like the different boxes. Um, it sort of like plays out in a pretty good, like, I don't know, I feel like it just happens. Well, not just happens, it's obvious. Like the stuff that's more important and like more like urgent is higher anxiety. So it's like my priority, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so I think I don't know. I don't really feel like there's much more to map out other than like to put it on like, oh, I'm gonna do it at this time and whatever. Um, but I've kind of already like I don't know if it's like in my head just looking at it like it's sort of come like shows up in like an order because it's like okay, this like I can't do this before like this time and like whatever. And like things are like falling sort of fall into like the time slots just because it's like the time. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like
Okay.
in my brain it's like obviously I'm gonna do that at this time because it's
Nice.
after lunch and I have time for that. And then like take my dog out. That's not high priority, but I have to do that. Like it's not high like anxiety, but I have to do that. Like that has to happen in the morning because she's gone in the afternoon. Like
Sure.
um stuff like that. It's like has to be at certain times and then everything else kind of like falls around it.
Nice. Yeah. So, to you, there's a pretty natural prioritizing in it that makes sense to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So look at that list, and now you got to be accountable to yourself. This is a cool question. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is my goal about these things? Like, I got to set something in motion here. So you got to say, okay, the likelihood of me getting all of this done is high or low. First of all, I got to ask myself, right? I got to making a list of stuff that matters to me. When do I want this done by? Like, meaning the whole thing or whatever, these three things. Like, you start to think about yourself as like you're accountable to yourself, Nora.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're learning. This is the confidence piece, right? When I get better at being accountable to myself, my confidence grows.
Mm-hmm.
So this list is you making an agreement with yourself. Here's who you are, Nora. Here's who I am. I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting better and better at managing myself and managing my goals. I'm getting better and better at managing myself and my goals. How do I know? Because I got this shit in front of me that's representing who I'm trying to be in my goals, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now the question is what's going to get in the way of me
Mm-hmm.
tackling this today?
Yeah.
Right? Those are kind of like, okay, what are the roadblocks? If there are, maybe there's none. Maybe they're like, no, David, this is kind of like a logical flow and I got this. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't, I want to make sure I'm acknowledging that.
Yeah.
What comes to mind and what do I need to write down as part of like, here's my roadblock,
Mm-hmm.
or does something come up?
Okay.
How'd it go?
Good.
Yeah.
A couple of like 4-ish roadblocks.
Okay, cool. All right. What now? This is like the empowering question of this whole process. What strategies or strategies
Mhm.
are going to help me overcome those hurdles and move past them and make them irrelevant?
Um, I think I'm gonna try like my cousin's coming over to do her work. So I'm gonna try like body doubling,
Sweet.
I guess. Um, and then yeah, I'm gonna try the saying it out loud thing.
Okay.
Um, and then I think like the brain dump and having everything like written down is very helpful too, because like it makes it real, I guess. So I feel more like I want to get it done,
Motivated.
to be able to like cross it off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Nice to hear you say that, because that is one of the natural outcomes of this process, is I
Yeah.
feel more connected, more motivated, more in, more empowered to check it off. So what that means in terms of strategy is, sounds like you're going to keep this notebook open and visible during as
Yep.
you're tackling things.
Yep.
Cool. Cool. If you didn't do that, you would have to have everything set up in advance. But if you do check it off as you go along, then you can always update and revise and modify as you go along.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a really cool strategy. So you've mentioned 3. Make sure you just jot down what they are, okay? Because I want you to get even better at recognizing the strategies that I am using as I get better and better at managing my goals. Okay, scale 1 to 10. How are you feeling about the session?
Which is which?
Great question. 10 is excellent. 0 is awful.
Okay. I'm feeling 10. I feel like this was really good.
Okay, cool. All right. So we meet again on Thursday.
Yes.
Your focus is super high during these conversations, Nora. This is not easy. We went over an hour and 10 minutes. Like, you've crushed it. So I'm taking I'm putting a lot on you and during our sessions, and you're like bringing it. So like, it's awesome. So so Thursday, we're just going to continue to build momentum. All you focusing on is what's working.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes.
All right. You're
Awesome.
the best. Good
Thank
stuff.
you.
Great day.
Bye.
In hindsight to this coaching session, I should have done the reflection on the grow template and kind of finished that process, kind of coming full circle on that template. That section that we were doing in the notebook definitely satisfied the part of the grow part where you were planning and organizing, making decisions. So I kind of moved away from the grow format, but the final part was I should have gone back to it when we were reflecting on next steps, because it was a little bit more organized in its questions and intentionality. So that's kind of my post coaching session reflection.